Hey guys, it's Mizzy, and I'm a mixed girl on a mixed up world. Today is May 11th, 2021, and it's a year anniversary for me of the day I decided to get my mind, body, and spirit into a better place. Now, in 2010, I had gotten sick. I have a few chronic illnesses, and they got really bad, and that caused my anxiety and depression to get worse. So when COVID hit, I was getting even more anxious because I have OCD and my OCD is germs. So I get a shot every 4 weeks called Nucala, and I had a doctor's appointment, but I kept backing out of them because I was too scared because I have lung issues and I was afraid that I was going to get COVID. And in early March, my Nana passed away. It was right around when things were starting to get bad, and that's when the closures were happening. And so my mom, my brother, and I all opted out of going to her funeral. But unfortunately, my mom had already bought all the sweets and cupcakes and cookies and brownies and everything else in between to bring down to her funeral. So we were stuck with them. And so for the next week, I had all that stuff for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I was just depressed and food was my outlet. So when COVID started getting bad, I'm a news junkie and I had to stop watching the news as much as I normally do because it was giving me anxiety. So I decided to watch Chris Evans' whole catalog. Now, I've been a fan of his since he did his movie Cellular. I was a fan, but I wasn't like a crazy stalker fan. So I hadn't seen everything he had done. I'd seen a lot of it. And, I was a Marvel fan. So, and he's from Boston. I'm from New England. So, I'm a fan. So I decided I was going to watch his whole catalog to keep my mind off things. And when I was watching the movies, I was like, wait a minute, I'm going to get through these movies too fast. So I decided after every movie, I'd go on YouTube and I'd watch, some of the backstory, and I'd watch interviews about, what the movies were like and all that fun stuff. So I went down this huge rabbit hole of Marvel interviews because there's a ton of Marvel interviews. You figure with all, their catalog of movies, there's a lot of interviews. So that kept me busy. So I wasn't watching, I didn't blow through his movies quite that fast. So as I had said, I missed a bunch of my doctor's appointments for my shot because I had such anxiety about COVID. So I went to my doctor's appointment and I was very anxious that day. And when I got into the building and into my appointment, I started having a really bad panic attack. So bad that I didn't even notice that when I had my weigh-in, I had lost 20 pounds. And it was because I had decided, after I'd eaten the cookies and cupcakes for a week, I had to eat better. But I was so preoccupied by my anxiety attack that I didn't even notice. And thankfully, this wonderful nurse who's there, all the nurses at my doctor's office are wonderful, but this one nurse saw that I was in a bad place and she scooted me into one of the private rooms because where I get my shot is at a infusion place and that's where a lot of the cancer patients go and get their medication. So as I was in that room, I was crying. I couldn't stop. It was just water flowing from my eyes. And I was really shaky. My heart was pounding. And like I said, I've never had an anxiety attack that bad. And I was even having a lot of trouble breathing. So they gave me the shot and I left and I went home. And even on the drive home, the tears were still coming out of my eyes. And when I got home for the rest of the day, I was still anxious and I still had like this pit in my stomach and my chest felt heavy. So in a weird twist of fate, I didn't watch any news. I couldn't deal with it. And I went on YouTube and the first video I came across was a Chris interview where he was talking about his anxiety. And it was weird because it was exactly what I needed at that moment. And he's playful in a lot of his interviews, but this interview he was very serious. And he was just talking about his anxiety and what he does to kind of break out of it if he's having, an episode or whatever. And he said about, he likes to say, shh, I tell my mind to be quiet. And he said a bunch of other things. And he also said something along the lines of that he likes to do something to break it. And, he try to change the situation so you don't sit in that anxiety, basically. And so after that video, it auto played like 4 more videos of him talking about anxiety. And it was exactly what I needed in that moment. I needed to hear what to do because I was just in such a bad place, and I couldn't get my head to get myself in a good place. And so I felt a little better, and I was laying on the couch watching TV, thinking about, what he had said, and it just kept rattling in my brain. And I said, you know what, he's right. I need to get up and change it. So I said, what am I going to do? So I love music. I'm a singer-songwriter. And I said, you know what, I'm going to get up. I'm going to go in my kitchen. I'm going to put on some of my music and just walk and sing and do a little dancing. I'm not talking about like, full routine dancing. I was like, hey, nothing major. So I went and walked and sang for 15 minutes. And it relieved so much of my anxiety, and it made me feel good, and I felt good about myself. And so I decided to do my walking and listening to my music the next night. And I did it the next night, and I did the next night after that. And for a year now, not every night, because there are some nights I just can't walk because I'm in too much pain with my fibromyalgia or my migraine is too bad. But I try to walk every day I can. And because of that, I lost 78 pounds. And it's changed my outlook on life. It made me realize that we have the ability to change a lot of things in our lives. There are some things you can't control, but you can't live your life about the things that you can't control. You live your life for the things that are in your control. And I also kind of came up with this analogy where we all have a safe that is inside of us, but we don't always know the combination to unlock it, to declutter the stuff that's, your traumas or your anxieties or what causes you distress. We all need to clean out the clutter of ourselves. And so you need to find out the combination. Now, for me, my combination was that first time deciding after my Nana passed to stop eating crap. My next one was listening to what Chris had said and changed it and get your mind out of what you're doing that's making you, have anxiety. And 3 was me getting up and making that decision to start moving. And because of that, I changed my outlook on life. I changed my happiness. I'm a much happier person. I'm a much more chill person. I'm not as angry. And it changed my body. I've lost 78 pounds in a year. This is the girl who laid on her mom's couch for 10 years because she felt so crappy. And now I'm up moving and I'm changing my destiny. Yes, I still suffer from my illnesses, and every day is a struggle and everything is a day-to-day, but I have changed what I can. I've changed my outlook, and I'm going to live for me, and I'm going to live my life to the best I can. And I'm not going to let my illnesses run my life anymore. So today, this anniversary is a victory for me. I still have a long way to go. I still have mental health issues that I need to conquer. I still have my weight to conquer. But I'm pretty proud of the 78 pounds that I've lost. And I'm pretty proud of that I eat pretty healthy. And I'm extremely proud of the work I've done on myself to be a better person and a happier person. So, happy anniversary to me. Ugh, that's such a corny thing for me to say. But you need to celebrate the small things in life. And to me, this isn't a small thing. This is a huge monumental thing in my life. But you need to celebrate the things that you achieve, because it gets you excited for the next achievement that you're going to make. So I am so proud of what's gone on in my life. And if I can do this, you can do this. And just start baby steps. That's how I did it. Sometimes you got to crawl before you walk, and you got to walk before you run. But you can do it, because if I can do it, you can do it. So you guys have a great night. I'm Izzy, and I'm a mixed girl in a mixed up world. Thank you.